Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hi if you're new, and welcome to the first episode of Reading After Dark, where I'm going to read some naughty books and bring you along with me for the journey. So, book one. The Softest Kinksters collection by Ali Williams. The Softest Kinksters collection collects short romances that capture snippets of kinky lives, from a subby himbo librarian to married lesbians to doms with ADHD. These kinksters use kink to alleviate anxiety, find connection, and to get off hard. Okay, now I know the author, Ali Williams. She is an absolute legend. I am very, very excited to read this book. And whether I know you or not, babe, and I love you to pieces, I am going to be very honest. Let's go into this book. So right at the beginning, Ali has made sure there are content notes here, so we know exactly what kind of sexual activities and topics that are going to be discussed in each story. So we know what we're letting ourselves in for. So I have just read the first story, which is called Holding On, and I really enjoyed it. What I really liked was the realistic scenario and people with anxieties and insecurities and realistic smut. And it was hot. But it's what I would put in the achievable smut category, which, you know, sometimes you want to read some smut and you think, go and do this for my other half later. And that's what I liked about this. I can't believe I've just said that in a video. Anyway, it was really good. Do I keep that in? I feel so awkward now. I'm keeping it in. But in the first story, we have PTSD from a car accident, which is not in the book itself, but it's referred to. And as somebody that has PTSD from a car accident, I can honestly say I think that bit is handled really well. But yeah, I really like the characters. As I said, I liked the characters having realistic thoughts and feelings and not just being like overly confident and cocky, right, let's just jump on each other and let's do this. It's like, oh, you know, like a little bit of body insecurity and a little bit of, oh, what is this? And I really like that. So anyway, story one, really enjoyed it. Let's continue to story number two. So I've just read the second story called Hanging On. Enjoyed it just as much as I did the first. This one was completely different. We have a same-sex marriage. We have the dom-sub dynamic. And for the first time, I've been introduced to hypnokink. And I read it in the content notes and I was like, I've never heard of this before. What is this? Am I going to struggle with the story because I don't know what it is? But no, I didn't. I think it was actually really well explained through the scenario that played out, and what an interesting concept. But anyway, yeah, still really enjoying it. I've just read just the first couple of paragraphs of Carrying On, and yes, it actually highlights the fact that things go wrong and they can be quite embarrassing during sexual activities, and I love the fact that that's actually in a book. It happens. So the element of consent is very obvious in the stories that I've read so far. Right down to the point it says here, kink play meant consent. And I think that's something that smutty books can overlook quite a bit. And I think it's something that really does need to be reiterated more in books. I'm a few more stories in now, and I've just read one really interesting one where we don't have the smut itself, but it's a very important story, I think. It's you've got two individuals that basically they plan their activities, but consent is a big deal here. You've got one individual who's had a very bad experience, and they're working together to sort of make sure that that doesn't happen again. And this goes back to what I said before about consent. It's in all the stories there's safe words or like how they tap out a situation, which I think gets overlooked in books so often. Now, on the smut side of things, I'm having my eyes opened here. We have rope play in one of the chapters, which I found really quite interesting reading about. Puppy play is made reference to, and again, that's something that I don't think I've read much about before. And statue kink. I'm just checking I'm getting the appropriate names for the different kinks that are discussed. There are several different kinks that are discussed in this book, and I'm actually really enjoying sort of finding out about kinks that maybe I didn't really know about. And personally, I think they're written about in a very good way. So yeah, I'm going to crack on and I'll catch up with you when I've read a bit more. I've just read Catching On, and it's such a sweet story. I mean, it's a smutty story. Let's not, like, forget how smutty and lovely it was. I appreciated the smut greatly, in fact. But we have the friendship going into the naughtiness, and I love that in a book. I love it when you have this friendship that's built up for years and then it progresses, and I love it. I mean, the smut in this book is absolutely fantastic. I really love the descriptions. I love the communication between the characters. And it's very hot, okay? It really is very hot, very lovely. But I just love the realness of the characters and situations, and the care that the characters have for each other. And that doesn't overshadow the smut. There is still the adequate, amazing smut in this book. But as I said, I just love the characters and situations as well. I think you did really good here, Ali. I have just finished the Softest Kinksters, and I absolutely loved it. It was so different from a lot of smutty books that I've read that say they talk about kink, and what it is, it's just BDSM, dom-sub dynamic, a bit of tying up, a bit of spanking, that's it. There were so many different kinks explored in this book. As I said, there was hypno kink, rope play, statue kink, puppy play. Every chapter was completely different. And I really liked that Ali has put in consent and also aftercare in the stories too. The characters were real, the situations felt real, the sexual activities felt more than achievable, and I just thought it was really, really good. Really, really enjoyed it. Would highly recommend it. Loved it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it has encouraged you to go pick up Ali's book, because it's really, really good. And I'm not just saying that because she's my friend, because I would be brutally honest, as she knows. I thought I was going to find it really uncomfortable discussing a smutty book. And I can't blame the alcohol, because, not sponsored, I'm actually drinking non-alcoholic sparkling rosé tonight, and it's actually quite nice. But yeah, I thought I would find it really awkward discussing this kind of topic, and I suppose when I've read smutty books before, I've only talked about them with the other half. But actually, I think I've realised now, like, how wonderful they can be over the last few that I've read, and that I'd like to share them, because I know I'm not the only person out there that likes to read these kind of books, and if I can provide any recommendations, then I would like to do so. So, this is my recommendation for you now. I will link the Goodreads description of this book, and if you go and pick it up, please let me know what you thought. Let me know any smutty books that you yourself like in the comments below. Consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you soon.